Hi, welcome to Grow New Plants. So today I'm going to make my first attempt at air layering fig trees. I've done hardwood cuttings, I've done softwood cuttings, and I've had good success with both of those. But supposedly the air layering is the quickest way to get a viable fig tree with its own set of roots and growing. It's supposedly significantly quicker than rooting just down into the tree pots and stuff like I've done before. So I'm going to give it an attempt. I've got these air layering pods here that I got off Amazon. So I'm going to give these things a try. I've got a link to these down in the description if they work and you want to try and find some. And then I'm probably going to do some with a bag method too, but I'll do those off camera. To be honest with you, I didn't have the right kind of bag, so I'm going to have to go get some. But I'll do some of those off camera, and then I'll include those in with the results video of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to move the camera in, and we'll take a look. I've got 3 different fig trees I'm going to try this on, and we'll take a look at what kind of trees they are and why I picked these particular trees to try the air layering with. So, okay, so I've got 3 different fig trees here. This is a improved Celeste, and I'll try and show this where you can see it the best. It's got this main stem that's coming out, which that's going to make a nice tree form tree. And it's also got a little limb here, a little limb here coming out, that little limb there, and then it's got this limb. This limb here is the one I'm going to try and air layer. And the thing is, if it doesn't work, I'm not going to hurt the tree. It's still got plenty of growth on it. So that's one reason that I chose this tree. And then over here, this is a tree I'm really excited about. This is a green goblin that I got from Pat's Fan. And it's got a nice limb coming out right here that's growing pretty straight up because I really like the tree form trees. So this one I'm going to just let this limb completely grow out and let it get up 2 or 3, oh crap. Okay, I had to edit that out. I got a little overzealous and hit my camera above me up here. So anyway, so I'm going to leave this limb, let it grow up into a tree form, but this limb right here, I don't really need. I mean, I could let it grow out into 2 branches, but I like the single trunk going up for a ways before they branch out. So I'm going to take this limb here, and that's the other limb that I'm going to air layer. And this is just LSU purple, and this is one that I grew last year. It was one of the first cuttings I ever did. And it's got 2 branches coming out, and it's got this branch coming out over here, and I don't know whether you can see it or not. It's got a few little baby figs and stuff already on it, and it's branched out 2 or 3 different directions. And then I got this one here that's got 2 branches coming out, but it doesn't have any figs or anything on it yet. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to air layer this branch right here off the LSU purple. So I'm going to, let's get these out of the way, and we'll first talk about soil. So a lot of people use just pure peat moss. You could use the HP Pro Mix. I'm going to just use my regular rooting medium, which is right here. It's just my half perlite, half peat moss that I use for everything else. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water in here, a little bit at a time, and just work it around. And I'm going to get it basically the same consistency that I do with my fig cuttings. I want it moist, but I don't want it so much that when you squeeze it, water runs out of it. So I just add a little bit of water at a time and stir it around till I get it to the consistency that I like. That's getting pretty close. And honestly, I could probably get this just a little bit wetter than what I do in my containers, because this thing is going to dry out quicker than what a normal one would, just because it's going to be exposed to the elements. So what I'm looking for is a consistency that I got it wet, it holds together like that, but I can't squeeze any water out of it. So that's pretty close, but I'm going to go ahead and give it just a little bit more, because I don't know these pods. I mean, they're not going to be completely 100% sealed, so I don't know how well they're going to hold the moisture, and I may have to periodically come and try and run a little bit of water down inside of them. So I think that's pretty good. It's still no water runs out, but it holds together nicely. So that's going to be my soil. Okay, so we can get that out of the way until we get ready to actually put our pods on. So we're going to start out. I think the easiest one's going to be this LSU purple. So hopefully this all shows good on the camera. So right now I've got, there's buds about every 1.5 inches or so on this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull that leaf off. I don't need that. And I'm going to make my air layer right in this area right here. Put my glasses back on so I can see a little bit better. So what I'm going to do, and like I said, I haven't done this before, and I've read and watched a lot of videos on it, and a lot of people will take it and they'll cut all the way around on both sides and completely remove the bark off of that section for it to grow roots. And I don't, honestly, from my experience on rooting these things, they'll put roots out from nodes. They'll put roots out from all different kinds of places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go between this node right here. That's going to be my main node in the middle. And all I'm going to do is just take it and just kind of scrape that bark. I'm going to go all the way around. And I'm going to be careful not to damage that one node. Because all I want to do is just give it an area that it can grow some roots out of. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Clonex rooting hormone. I've got a video I did with the testing of the cuttings using different kinds of rooting hormones and no cuttings, no hormone, and different methods on did I cut them or not cut them. You know, make a little slice on the bottom of the cutting. And what I found out is that the Hormidone 3 and the Clonex both really made a big difference of roots coming out where cuts were made. And I haven't posted that video yet. I'm not sure which of these two videos will get posted first, but probably that one. So you should be able to go watch that video. So I'll post a link to that video up here when I post this one, so you can watch that and see what I was talking about with the different kinds of rooting hormones. So I got that rooting hormone on there. So now I'm going to slide this out of the way and let you see these things. So these things are just hinged. You fold them over. It's got a little clip right here that you lock it in place, and then it's got little zip ties. They all come with this to lock the corners in. And if you look at it, it's got a bigger funnel here than it does here, and then there's also a little notch here and here. And I'm assuming that when you close that, that's to grip that branch so this thing doesn't slide up and down on the branch. So this needs to be on the bottom. The bigger part will be on the top, and I'm hoping what that'll do, say if I take this thing and then after a period of time I feel like this soil may be dried out inside, I can just drip a little bit of water down there and add a little bit of moisture back down inside that thing. So the way I want to do this is I want to put the end with the tabs is going to be at the bottom of my branch. So the next thing I need to do is I need to fill this thing up with soil, and I want to pack it in there pretty good. I'm not going to pack it super tight, but I just want to make sure that it makes good contact. When I close it, I want to make sure the soil is in contact with the stem, because if it's not ever going to root. The roots are just going to try and go out into air and they'll die. So this is my bottom, this is the top. I got this thing full of soil now. So all I'm going to do is take this. Everything's always harder when I'm trying to do it on video, but so I'm going to get it right about there. That gets that node right in the middle, and then just going to squeeze that thing shut. Well, I screwed up. Apparently you got to have it flat because it's too much in there. So I got to get it a little bit of that soil out of there so it has enough room to close. And think about that. Like I said, first time I've used these. Okay, so that should close now. Hopefully I could squeeze it down enough to get it over the limb. So I got my node that I want to grow, and then hopefully roots will come out in here, right in here. I just squeeze that thing, so that's nice and tight. I like the way that felt. And then I just fold that thing over. That locks this thing in place. Well, it didn't. Maybe I should have looked at those a little bit better. There we go. Flip that little thing over. I'll show you one of those away from the tree. So that's pretty solid on there. And so I don't know whether you'll be able to see this on the camera. So if I need to add more water, I can pour a little bit of water down in that thing periodically. And it's going to be outside, so if it gets rain or something like that on it, some of that, any kind of rain or irrigation that gets on this limb will run down inside that too. and hopefully keep it moist enough until it develops roots. The only thing I don't like about this method, and it's kind of the same as, so I'm just putting these little zip ties on here. The only thing I don't like about this method is that I will not be able to see any roots growing. So I'm just going to have to trust that they are. And I want to go back too on another thing too. I watched a video, Mike Kincaid had a video on doing air layering, and he was talking about how when you make the full cut, like if you just take it and if you just come in here and make a circle and pull that bark all the way back down, it doesn't allow all the energy and everything to transfer back up and down to this section. So the section on top starts getting kind of weak. I think it would probably survive, but it's not healthy for it. So this way, it's got that cut made, which will allow that thing to start making new roots. You know, it's got the scarring and then the rooting hormone, but it should be able to still feed the top of this limb so it doesn't have any problems or get weak. It should stay vigorous and keep growing just the way that it is. So that's pretty much it on that one. So I'm going to set this one out of the way and then we'll take a look at the other two. So we'll try the green goblin next. So this is the limb that I'm going to air layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break that leaf off. Matter of fact, I'm going to take all the leaves off below where I'm doing my layer. So this node right here is what I'm going to shoot for. So I'm going to go ahead and take that leaf there off. So now right here is the node that I'm shooting for. Now this is still really green, okay? And I think we're going to end up with we're going to end up with obviously a completely lignified piece of wood on the one that we just did, the LSU purple. This one's going to be completely green. This one here is going to be somewhat in the middle. So we'll have 3 different tries and we'll see. One may work better than others, or they may all work just fine. But where I broke that leaf off, there's still a node right above that. So we should be able to get roots to come up in there. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in here. There's my node. So I'm just going to scrape this bark a little bit just to injure it. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not really cutting into it or anything like that. I'm just making a little bit of an injure to that. And hopefully that'll allow it to start growing some roots in that area. Then we'll come back and we'll put our Clone X rooting hormone on there. I'll just paint it on there. Get it in all that injured area and across that node. Okay, so that was pretty easy. And then we will take another one of our little pods. I'll fill it up with soil. And as we learned last time, pack it down in there pretty good. But you got to leave enough room. You can't pack so much soil in there that it won't close. While I'm doing this, I was talking about the baggie method. There's some guys that do it where they just take baggies and fill them up with soil, and then they slit the baggie open, wrap it around the limb, and then just tape it closed. And the good thing about that, and that's why I do want to try that too, because if it works just as easy, I might start using that method, because at least then you can see through the baggie. You can see if you got roots or not. So here is my bottom one with the tabs. This is the top. So I want to take it, I'm going to kind of lay it sideways just to make it easier here. See if I can get that where you can see it better on the camera. So here is my node. Let me make sure I'm getting the right place. Now there's my node right here that I want to get in the middle. So I'm just going to lay this thing down a little bit. Trying to make sure you show this on the camera. I'm just going to fold it over. Squeeze it down a little bit. Take that little clip there and flip it over, and that holds it in place. Again, that gripped it just fine. There's different, these come, the package of these I bought came with 3 different sizes. These are the small ones. The mediums are pretty big. I mean, like, it's going to be almost Sharpie size limb for the medium ones to fit in, and then the large ones are like huge, like almost the size of my thumb. So we'll come in here and we'll put these on. Okay, and honestly, I don't know if you have to put those on there or not. It seems to hold pretty well. We just snapped it in place, and with those little tabs these little tabs on the bottom grip it pretty good. It's not moving or not going anywhere. So there's the second one. And that's the Green Goblin, Pads Fan Green Goblin. I actually got that from Pads Fan, so I'm excited about that plant. And we got this other one, which is an improved Celeste. So this is my target right here. Oh, I've got a node. I got several nodes above these leaves. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to start taking the bottom leaves off. And I think these three are the only ones I'm going to have to take off. And I've got nodes, good nodes above this, so I'm going to shoot for this node right here. So I'm going to go just above and below that and do some scraping. Now what I was saying earlier, this one's actually got figs starting to grow, so I may pop those off. I didn't realize that. This one's actually got figs coming out in these corners right here. But I may pop those back off. I'll just see how it does. If it looks like it's slowing it down any, I may pop those figs off. But so this one is starting to lignify. See where it's starting to turn brown, and then from here on up it's still green. So this one's going to be kind of in a lignified area. If I do right here, most all of this area here is lignified. So it's not green anymore and it's not hardwood yet, but it's just, that's what we call a lignified cutting. It's just where it's starting to turn brown. And those typically are pretty good cuttings. I've had a lot of good success with what I consider a lignified cutting. So I'm just coming through here, see if I can get that on the overhead there. I'm just trying not to damage the nodes and just kind of scarring that up a little bit. Okay, that ought to be good. It doesn't take a lot. You just want to make some scars on there. Plants want to repair themselves. So when you scar them and injure them like that, they want to fix it. And hopefully the method of fixing it here is it's going to go, oh, I need new roots. So it's going to put roots out. It's got that soil and that moisture level in there. And hopefully the plant will say to itself, I need roots. I talk to trees. I talk to plants a lot. I'm like the Dr. Doolittle of plants. I think they do have their own little minds. Not literally, but figuratively. So I'm putting my soil back in, packing it down in there pretty good, getting it flat across the... So there's my soil. So my node is right about in here, so that's what I want to shoot for. So I want to get that thing laid down. Make sure my tabs are on the bottom. About right there is what I'm going to shoot for. Oh, I got a little... That one was a little close. That one's going to be so close, it's going to be hard to pop the thing off. But that's okay. Okay, I got it squeezed down on there good now. Get that thing flipped over. Okay, so that's locked on there. That one actually slides a little bit, and I don't know why. But you know what? It's resting down on that, so I think it's going to be fine. That limb was just as big as the other one, but maybe it's just the way I got it in there. I didn't get as much soil in there. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop that off because I'm not comfortable with that. You can see, I mean, it actually probably was fine. This one may just be a little bit skinnier than that other one was. So I'll repack it with soil and put it back on there again. I may go just a little bit higher so I'm not in that crotch where that limb came out of the other one. Yeah, I think it was just a little bit skinnier. Here we go. I'll do it this way. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not in the way of the deal. So we'll go that way and we'll flip it over, squeeze it in, flip that thing over. Yeah, it still didn't grip it. So I think this limb may just be a little bit skinnier than the other limbs were. So we'll go ahead and put these on. And I don't know whether these cinch it down anymore. Probably, I'm thinking that latch probably cinches it down as much as it's going to go. I think these are just kind of more of a backup. So I'm going to take probably 2 or 3 more, and I'm going to try the baggie method. And I don't know, I may film a little bit of that and insert it into the results video, because I'm going to go ahead and post this video. I feel pretty confident we're going to get some roots, so I'm going to go ahead and post this video, and then when I got roots on them, I'll add in a little bit of video from doing the baggie method into the results video. Okay, so now we got 3 of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and post this video, and then hopefully within about 6 weeks or so, I'll have signs of roots. Like I said, I will come back in, I'll periodically add a little bit of water down in here just to keep this soil wet down inside there. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Hit the bell notification when you subscribe, and that way you'll be sure and get the notifications when the new videos come out. Anyway, appreciate you watching. Thank you. Bye.